message. A message that is loud and clear and does not mince words. We've come to take our government back.
You are listening to Rand Radio with Kurt Wallace.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Mulligan Mint. If you add a roll of 1/10 pure silver paradigms to your order and use promo code RANDRADIO, your entire purchase will receive free shipping. That's right, free shipping by using promo code RANDRADIO at mulliganmint.com. That's mulliganmint.com. And now, here's Kurt Wallace.
Yellen has degrees from Brown and Yale, taught at Harvard, and got tenure at Berkeley. Her son is an economist. Her husband has a Nobel Prize in economic theory. The 67-year-old has been on the Fed for more than a decade. She's been a trailblazer for women in her field.
At the highest levels in central banking, there are very few women.
Wow, CNN does a great job of telling us about Janet Yellen. She's impressive, excellent resume, champion for women, Berkeley, Harvard. Sounds like the best person to be considered for the Fed. Here to help us, world-renowned investor Jim Rogers, author of Street Smarts, Adventures on the Road and in the Markets. Janet Yellen sounds like the answer to all our problems. Jim, what do you think?
Wait a minute, sounds like whose answer to all of our problems? She sounds like our problems, if you ask me. No, we've had enough of these Ivy League professors who have no clue about the real world and who think that money printing is the answer to everything. I think she's part of the problem. She's certainly not the solution.
Okay, so Ben Bernanke is leaving us as Fed chairman. On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think he did?
0. I mean, if there were minus, he would be minus. I mean, the man has been an unmitigated disaster. He has taken the Fed's balance sheet from about $800 billion of government bonds. He's quadrupled the balance sheet. A lot of it's garbage. He's printed staggering amounts of money. I mean, Mr. Bernanke doesn't know much about currencies or economics or finance. All he knows is printing money. He spent his entire intellectual career studying the printing of money. We gave him the printing presses, and so what does he expect him to do? He ran the printing presses. That's all he knows. So no, we're all going to pay we are paying and will continue to pay a serious price. The only good news in all of this is, as you know, in America we've had 3 central banks in our history. The first 2 disappeared. In my view, this one's going to disappear too, because between Mr. Greenspan and Mr. Bernanke, oh my gosh, they don't have a clue. And they've fortunately, I don't know, I shouldn't say fortunately, but one result of their actions is going to be that this central bank will disappear too eventually. So the world without a central bank, America without a central bank, has problems, as we've learned before, but we also know that this central bank is probably going to cause us more problems than no central bank.
Well, considering that the Federal Reserve is essentially a Keynesian-style state corporatist structure, would there be anyone worth considering for Fed chairman?
Oh, sure. I mean, why not Ron Paul? He would be terrific if he would abolish it. There are people who understand the basic problems. The problem is, even if you could appoint Ron Paul or somebody like him, in the end, he would not be able to do what's necessary because there would be such a hue and cry that he would be thrown out or God knows what. So, yeah, there are certainly people who understand the problem, but they would not have any hope of even being mentioned, much less appointed.
You had a great interview with Business Insider, and something that stood out to me that you said in response to what do you think the Fed chairman should be. Let me play that clip for you.
Nobody should abolish the Federal Reserve. The world without a central bank has problems, but with this central bank, look at the people they're talking about. I mean, it's all more of the same ilk.
You said the world without a central bank has problems. What do you mean?
The reason we have a central bank in America and other countries is because human beings, being what they are, they get carried away, get overenthusiastic at times. They lead to some people being overextended, bubbles, whatever, and then it all collapses. And then when it collapses, things get really bad. And so people said, why don't we come up with the government? The government can help us. I'm sorry I'm laughing because it's so ridiculous. But the people said, well, let's let the government bail us all out. So they said if we had a government or a central bank who could be the lender of last resort, then at least the world wouldn't come to an end.